Good day, everyone. We are the Group 4, and we're about to report the Organization of American States. So, we have here the logo of the said organization. And now we can proceed to the main content of our report. First is, when was OWAS created? OWAS originated in the Congress of Panama in 1826 by Simon Bolivar. It was not signed and approved until April 30, 1948 at the 9th International Conference in Bogota, Colombia. It is also considered as the oldest regional international organization in the world. So, of course, meron tayong mga experts for this organization. So, Joebhel, can you tell us?
Thank you, Riyya. Good day. My name is Joebhel Mendevil, and I'll be talking about more from our experts. So in here, we have Stuart M. Patrick, Shannon K. O'Neill, and Miles Scaller. Next. According to Stuart M. Patrick, an extraordinary global campaign has emerged to protect 30% of Earth's total surface from human exploitation by 2030. Next. According to Shannon K. O'Neill, the Trump administration handled the migrant flows by focusing on stopping migrants from entering, or if they reach the United States, stopping them from staying in the country. The Biden administration, on the other hand, looks to both managing the migrant flows and changing the situations on the ground, basically aiming to attend to the root cause of the problem. Next. According to Miles Scaller, improvements in the evaluation of existing policies as well as innovations are being made in order to counter illicit financial flows or dirty money. Next. So how is the Organization of American States organized? The Organization of American States is headed by Secretary General Luis Almagro, Uruguay's former foreign minister who assumed office in 2015. Next. It comprises three main bodies, which includes the General Assembly, the Permanent Council, and the General Secretariat. Next. The General Assembly is the principal decision-making organ which meets annually. Next. The Permanent Council, on the other hand, basically manages the day-to-day affairs in the organization. Next. And lastly, the General Secretariat primarily implements policies made by the other two bodies. Next. As for our daily news briefs, the most recent summit took place in April 2018 in Lima, Peru, where OAS members addressed the theme Democratic Governance Against Corruption. Donald J. Trump canceled plans to attend the summit, making it the first to be held without a sitting U.S. president. Nonetheless, his administration said the United States would bid to host the 2021 summit. So now that I think of it, what is the budget of OAS? Alan, would you please enlighten us?
Thank you, Joebhel. So we're going to talk about the budget of OAS. So to fund the General Secretariat as a whole, quotas are set by the General Assembly for each member state. The quotas are also referred to as the regular funds. So last 2019, the OAS was able to accumulate nearly $83 million of regular fund, wherein almost $51 million came from the government of the United States, making it the 60% of the contribution that time. So for the approved budget for the year 2021, as discussed in the regular session last October 2020, it was stated that it is approximately $86 million. And as of April 15, 2021, the collection of quotas for regular fund reached at almost 85 million, with the government of the United States still as the biggest contributor with $48,055,600. Also, OAS is receiving contributions from private and public institutions, permanent observer states, as well as other members of United Nations. So itong funds na to or contribution ay tinatawag ding specific funds. So the specific funds are used to strengthen and execute the activities of General Secretariat as well as to fund the other organs and entities of the OAS. So, after knowing the budget of the organization, ano nga ba ang purposes ng OAS? What does this organization do? Let's hear it from Ate Jolliena. Ate?
Yes, thank you, Alan. So what does OAS do? To effectively carry out its essential purposes, the OAS employs a 4 strategy. So these are the four main pillars of this organization. First, democracy. Second, human rights. Third, security. And last, development. Its support and are noted through political dialogue, inclusiveness, cooperation, legal, and follow-up instruments that provide the OAS with the tools to maximize its works in the hemisphere. The OAS is also tasked with seeking solutions to member states' economic, political, and social problems. It also fostering social, economic, political for the cultural growth and restricting the proliferation of weapons so that money can be allocated to economic and social development. As a result, the Organization of American or OAS promotes peace, stability, understanding, and growth among its members. So, the next question is, what are its strengths? So, hi, Alan. Can you tell us what are those?
Thank you, Ate Jolliena. So ano nga ba ang strength ng OAS or Organization of American States? Next slide. The OAS, being a forum to discuss issues concerning the Americas, is considered by the organization itself as one of their strengths. Being able to properly address the sentiments or the stand of each member state is also the top priority of the organization. Democracy as one of its pillars. OAS was originally dealing more on issues of territories and security. However, as time went by, they started to expand their areas of focus. OAS adopted resolutions, charters, and protocols to ensure the democratic practices within the region are observed. The persistent practice of democracy later developed to their advantage in such a way that it strengthened their ties with each other by making sure that each member is treated equally and properly represented. Last but not the least, the Inter-American Human Rights Commission, an autonomous organ of OAS, is also considered a strength for its effective uncovering of rights violation during the 1970s and 1980s, which had been praised by some experts. And of course, if there are strengths, there are also weaknesses. To help us understand this matter, tanungin natin si JC Legaspi. JC?
Thank you, Alan. So let's discuss what are its weaknesses. So the OAS has been upbraided by many policymakers from the members of state due to structural flaws. Some experts say that the OAS has struggled to make fast decisive calls to action because of its region's divided politics. Next is that the IAHRC reported layoffs and halted proceeding in 2016 due to budget cuts, which shifters attributes to members struggling to fulfill their financial obligations. Next, for the numbers of governments, bolstering a generally autonomous body that would enhance scrutiny of their human rights record is hardly a high priority. So, next question is, how committed is OAS to democracy? So, Ate Jolliena, can you answer this question?
Yes, thank you, JC. So, gaano ba ka-committed ang OAS sa democracy? So, to answer this, the OAS assists in the preservation of democracy by mobilizing the hemisphere in the face of challenges to democratic law. It also acted to promote democratic in Haiti, Peru, Guatemala, and Paraguay as mandated by General Assembly Resolution 1080, year 1991. It also provides development and other assistance aimed at strengthening democratic institutions. Also, they ensuring election integrity, promoting human rights, boosting trade, combating drug trafficking, and protecting the environment. So, year 1992 and 2001 are those organizations that is more open to the people and is becoming progressively effective in overcoming country issues and ensuring a good society for the hemisphere citizens. So the next question is, what is the organization history with Cuba? To help us understand more, hi Riyya, can you tell us what is it?
Of course, Ate Jolliena, thank you. So, what is the organization's history with Cuba? In 1961, Cuba declared themselves as Marxist-Leninist. OAS is an anti-communist organization and they were against the belief of Cuba. In 1962, Cuba was removed from the organization. But in June 2009, the foreign ministers resolved the conflict and invited Cuba once again, but unfortunately, Cuba declined. So, For the next question, JC, ano nga ba ang relationship ng OWA sa presidency ni Trump? Thank you.
So, Riyya, to answer this question, what is Trump's administration's relationship with the organization? So, to start it up, Trump referred to the Organization of American States in April of 2017 as an enduring organization for the promotion of democracy, security, human rights, and economic development. So in June 2019, the U.S. ambassador to the OAS was admonished by the group, including Haiti's opposition, for attempting to interfere in the country's volatile political situation. So in 2018, his administration demanded 8.75 million, less than the US was supposed to contribute to the OAS budget for that year, but it did not exceed its 50.75 million cap. So for the next question, regional alternatives for OAS. So Leanne, can you share some information for this topic?
Thank you, JC. Let me discuss to you the regional alternatives of Organization of American States. Next slide, please. The CELAC, the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States. It is widely seen as a potential alternative to OAS when it was founded in 2010. Next slide, please. The UNASUR, Union of South American Nations. This organization mediated the diplomatic crisis between Ecuador and Colombia in 2008. Next slide, please. The RESOR, the Forum for the Progress of South America, was formed in March 2019. Their purpose? Fostering regional cooperation and development in South America. Next, please. The ALBA, the Bolivian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America, was founded in 2004. It seeks economic and political integration. And as we end our presentation, let us go on to the critical discussion. Promoting democracy is the main purpose of OAS. But as the America consists of 50 states, it is nearly impossible to achieve it. Next slide, please. Since there are inequalities, therefore, to give solution in this problem, the Organization of American States should be aware of every country's situation to have a good fight in pursuing democracy. Let me end our discussion by thanking all of you for listening. Again, I am Leandale Igos.
I am Evianne Jaurigue.
I am Carlo Legaspi.
I am Alan Magundayao.
I'm Jolliena Mastrili.
I'm Mendevil.
And we are the Group 4. Have a good day.